So I was just looking at the Discord chat. So Munir says he's just off to the shops and will be back soon. And he's just here, so that's good. And Oppa says the one that does not play A4 Rook A3, or maybe yeah. So Oppa's joking that I'll use A4 Rook A3 as a surprise weapon because of course VariantsOnly is very famous. Okay, so to start the stream again. So welcome viewers. We're going to be playing ZH League match against VariantsOnly, who is the international master Thomas Beardson from Holland, soon to be Grandmaster Touch Wood, knock on wood, and we have Miranda in gaming and Upperwaisen and the finisher, all in the chat, not in the chat, in the spectator realm. And I'm just saying, I'm streaming but don't watch obviously, because I want to be able to be free to give away my ideas. Okay, so this is like the Crazyhouse Summer League, but it's going to it will every few weeks, every say 10 weeks maximum, it will start again. So if people are interested, do just drop a message, and I'll give you the link. The link is, I'm not sure the full link, but it's zh.lakin.ca/zhteam. I could put it in the Twitch chat or someone, or just drop me a message and I'll send you the link. Okay, I don't think the interest is so great, but that will be a concern. Okay, why is this open? I'm confused. I should be, this is my game. So I'll close down that thing and we're ready to go. Okay, so it's 6+6. So we do have time to think and we do have time to talk, but not that much time. And I'll try and give some of my ideas, and I don't want to keep VariantsOnly waiting any longer, so let's go. So I'm going with d4. I feel d4 is slightly safer. The king, but it's also not quite as sharp. He's letting me grab the center, so I'll just grab the center. e4 is weak, it's not protected. So I protect e4, and now I've got a choice to develop the bishop to here, or just continue with the knight. Obviously it's quite tempting to develop the bishop to here and push this, but then he's got options of either developing the bishop to here or to here, here being a bit more aggressive. So let's see, if I go bishop here, I need to turn my mobile off. Then the problem is he could have some nasty attack on c3. So even if I push this, he might just be able to sack the queen and launch a nasty attack on c3, possibly. So that makes me a little bit wary. If he pushed this, I might consider some kind of push exchange on here. But I'm definitely thinking about this square. Or I'm thinking about just developing normally. The fact that his bishop can't come out to this diagonal is also just making me think just develop normally. Put the bishop here and try and use this diagonal. And in a way he's inviting me to do that. Now I could go bishop here, that makes a lot of sense. So pawn takes. So I'm going to do that, but of course he's going to respond with bishop here. So I go bishop there. So I'm still going to get these problems on c3 that I was trying to avoid. And I feel like I'm overthinking this, which is always a danger. So let's see. What do I do here? I could pin it. Now what I'm concerned about is pin back and just defend. Does that work? Yeah, but it's, I'm not satisfied with this. Somehow it doesn't feel right. I need to get castle more quickly. So maybe just attack here, bishop here. Yeah, that's what I'll do. But attack, if knight here, bishop here, and if bishop there, I'll happily give the pawn. So I spent about 2 minutes of my time So Juiceball says no, all that A5 prep. Well, I didn't prep, so. So Aiden42 I see is watching, and the finisher both are on my team in the ZH League. Schwanet, Opperways, and IJH also. So oh, he moved already. Oh gosh, this is bad. Okay, so I do this. I'm expecting this to try and pick up a pawn, and I'm just going to castle out of danger. And I do remember having played this before, but I don't know the full theory. But what I played before was bishop here, castles, takes, and he wins a pawn, and then I go queen e1. And then I know that the best move for black is actually to discard that knight and drop a pawn on e4, which makes a lot of sense. It's just beginning an attack. And I don't really know what to do as white. I haven't really checked. So we're going to get something similar here, I expect. But I think I'm still going to do it. Except he's going with the knight. Or I could just take, and lose my knight. But no, I'm just going to get my king out the way. That feels like the right thing to do. So definitely I'm expecting knight takes pawn, queen, then pawn drop on e4, and then I have to think. Yeah, okay, so that just gives me this knight, so that's a mistake. Oh, is it? Yeah, sorry. For a second I thought there was some knight fork, or yeah. But no, I think that's okay. Okay, so now he's got some kind of initiative on my queen, which is good for him. And remember, he's got a pawn in hand. This time control is actually quite fast for me. So I want to go somewhere where I can. So this is going to be my key attack, but I don't really want a queen taking back on this square. I want a pawn landing here as soon as I can get it. Queen here is just. I can't afford a bishop takes 7 sack, can I? What about queen to g4? That's an interesting idea. Puts a lot of pressure, but that invites this attack. So, in light of these concerns, I'm just going to drop back, defending the knight. Okay, now the problem with that is obviously he can take the knight and then take this pawn. Gosh, why am I so slow? Yeah, that's a bother. That's a bother. So maybe give up the queen. Yeah, maybe give up the queen. But I'm afraid I'm too slow. It's just not good. And go for this. So I'm just going for this f6 square. Okay, very sensible. He's backing it up. So I could cover my back rank. So the problem is pawn takes, rook takes, and yeah. So I'm going to try and both cover my back rank a little bit. Oh, he's letting me take the queen. Okay. But has he got mate? So rook takes pawn. If I take it, he will almost certainly have mate. So I've got to slide across. And then what? If he takes again, he has a lot of pawns. So if I did king takes, he'd have queen here check, drop back. Pawn here, I've still got knight takes pawn. I'm really not sure. Oh god, I've only got 2.5 minutes. If I go knight takes pawn, the problem is he can go pawn there and then pawn there. He's got enough pawns to get me. He does have enough. So rook takes pawn, king takes, queen there check, king there, pawn there check. I can just go knight takes pawn. I think everything might be covered. Of course, he's got queen takes knight. Okay, so instead he's gone for at g2 as a threat, which makes a lot of sense. At g2 is a nasty threat. But now I've got knight. No, knight here, this is covered. Knight here, rook takes. Obviously a second knight would come here and would mate him. So knight here, bishop takes. Knight here, bishop takes. Queen here. It's really, yeah, the problem is I've only got 146. That's basically my problem. Knight here, but what about knight here? Rook takes knight. Knight here, rook takes knight. Knight here, bishop. So, gosh, knight here, bishop takes. Queen here, check. Blocks with the knight. Okay, so the real problem I have, not knowing how to defend. Knight here, bishop takes knight. Doesn't work. Okay. Okay, but simply bishop here actually would be safe. But then he does have his pawn. Okay, so I'm going to go with knight there first. Just covering both weaknesses. The problem with bishop here is then he can drop on h3 immediately. And again, he's threatening a mate. Unfortunately here he can still drop on this square. So I'm not sure I've achieved anything there. That's the problem. Okay. And I don't know how to defend. Just with the rook, maybe? But then he's going with the pawns. With the rook. So it's just defending. Defending like crazy. But he could go takes, 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 and then again. But then I've got takes here as the advantage of the rook. So maybe that's enough. Okay, in the meantime he's only got pawns and queens, but pawns and queens are pretty good. But let's see. Kind of scary. So he does do this. So I'm going to take the knight. Now he's only got one pawn, but he could go bishop here, of course. Rook takes and then pawn there. Takes, 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 and then he's got a knight to finish. Okay, then that's the problem. I think I might have to defend again after that move. Unfortunately. Yeah, so let's calculate this carefully. So bishop here, if I just take, he's got pawn here, takes, 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 and then knight here. Does that work? Oh god, my time. Okay, I'm going to do this. Not really sure, just trying to hope the bishop takes. Oh, the bishop takes, wow! Oh. I'm not safe. So he's definitely got a lot of material now. So I absolutely need to defend. I don't know how to do it. Yeah, I just don't know how to defend. I'm really frustrated. I don't know how to defend this. Yeah, I need a bishop there so I can take on here. Yeah, because now I've only got pawns and queens, so it's more precarious. He's going for this square, so I'll go for this. Okay, so let's see, what do I do? He's still going for that, and I don't know what I've got. Got knight takes bishop, got knight takes knight, got queen takes knight. So I feel like he's just got too much material now, but I just had to, don't know, I had to defend. I didn't see anything else. And now he's got this again, and I've got nothing. I've only got a knight in hand, which is useless. So this is it. It's going down. I'm going down here. Can't do anything. Okay, just defend with knights. So he's going to drop, I imagine. And I take. And now he's got a knight, which is going to kill me here. So yeah. What's his way of killing me? He's got two queens in hand, so you go queen here and queen here, for example. Spoilt for choice. I just take that one, I move across, and that one is mate. Okay, so good game. Quite sharp game. Okay, so game 2, so he's 1-0 of 2 games. He's going for this a4 rook a3, and I'm tempted just to take it. So I really don't know what I'm doing here, but just trying. I think the philosophy here is he's going for a flank attack, so I'm going to go for the center. And try and play solid. Play this. Just to have some eyes on those squares, and this. Maybe I should take the bishop out. Okay, so he's putting pressure on the e5 square, and I've lost my dark squared bishop. So I go rook here. The problem is bishop there. But I could just push e5. That would also be possible. That feels right. Feels like attacking the center because he's attacking the flanks. That's basically my philosophy for this game. He could take, but I'm just going to quickly get castled, I think. Is there any other attack I have? Takes. No, I'm just going to quickly get castled. No worries. So he's going to pick up knight. Okay, so he's putting a lot of pressure on this square from these two diagonals. So I'm going to play this, giving the rook back potentially. So I did see a game in which Jan Lee did this, but I'm not saying it's any good in this sort of position. And the fact he hasn't taken the rook is encouraging. Okay, so where's that knight going? I think I played that too quickly, I just can't see where it's going. Maybe it was just developing towards the center. But then I just take this knight, so I don't get it. And if knight takes rook, I take this way, and that provides support for this f6 square. So that was the philosophy of this move. I don't recall what the philosophy was when I saw Jan play it, but I think it's a nice idea. Third rank defense with that rook we picked up. But still, I really want some kind of play in the centre. His king is not castled. It's a long way from being castled. I also don't want to get so much down on time like I did in game one, because so if anyone wants to join this league, it might take a few weeks to get a reply because things are a bit disorganized. But just drop me a mail and I'll send you back the link. So he chooses the knight rather than the rook. That's very interesting. And because he's hitting my queen, I definitely have to take back. So the question is, do I take back with the pawn or with the rook? If I take back with the pawn, I do reinforce the center, but I potentially also create some weaknesses. I'm quite tempted to take back with the rook. And I'm wondering if I'm regretting that, because d5 might be a weakness in the future. So maybe that was a mistake. And I definitely don't want him to take that rook like that and then take on here. That's not acceptable. So in a way, I feel like I've wasted time there. So I'm going to go back to here. With the idea of pawn takes, and then that provides nice coverage. Okay, but I feel like I'm not making progress. I need to actually make some threats. So ideas. Can I push this at some point? He doesn't want that. Can I push this? It does create some holes in my position. Is there any piece that's hanging a little bit? Maybe that bishop, for example, but it could just easily come back here and weak like squares could be a problem. I'm going to push through the center. I really do want to do this in this game. But after knight takes rook, yeah, I have to go pawn takes. And I really want the d4 push if I can get it. So I'm going to do that. Now he does have a knight and a rook in hand, but I'm quite keen, if I can get a chance, to play d4. Now he does have ideas here. Okay, well, he's not going for any of that stuff. He's going straight up for some g7 attacks. And if I push this pawn, he will have a pawn, so he's got more stuff, more ammo. Okay, so I'm going to defend first, and it also kicks the bishop. So both protects against future pawn at h6, because it just blocks out that file, gives me some protection, and this is next. So I'm expecting bishop back here and trying to play something here, but maybe a knight here is sort of ideas, which is kind of annoying because I don't want to lose a whole rook. Okay, so he goes for this, maybe hoping for some kind of weakness here, which makes sense. But now after bishop takes knight, I could even go pawn takes. Sort of, it's giving me another option. Okay, so now he's targeting this weakness. Okay, well, I defend that with the rook. Would make sense, but then the problem is then he's got bishop here, which is annoying. I could go rook here, but he's got queen takes, rook, knight takes. Yeah, that's not so. It's kind of scary. So we're into a kind of critical phase. I really wanted to push d4, but I'm having to defend this g pawn. Why is knight takes pawn a problem? Because then pawn at e7 becomes a problem. So in a way, it's something I do want to defend, but the problem is rook here, bishop here. That's annoying. What about simply king h7, then knight g5 becomes an issue? Okay, rook here is an idea. Could he even sack the queen then? Knight here, knight takes pawn. He'll have a rook in hand for here, but I'll have quite a strong attack also. So I'll have a knight. Okay, do I have time? I've got a knight and rook. Okay, so if he takes it, I'll have a knight, a rook, and a queen. A knight, a rook, and a queen. Takes, takes, takes. But do I have anything concrete? No, because the bishop guards the square. And also my queen would be hanging. What? Rook here, queen takes, knight takes, bishop takes, queen. So So this would be very scary indeed, and basically bad. Knight takes queen, bishop takes queen, and then I'd have to be looking at, do I have any back rank threats? And I don't see any. Okay. So, in light of all that, I have to find another way of defending this. And then the other way was this, but it stops me from doing what I wanted, or makes me do it differently. So, yeah, and it also opens up this problem, this square. So, I'm going to have to find another way of defending. Okay, so I'm going to have to defend like this. It does seem to be the only logical way of defending, and I do want to defend because otherwise e7 is a weakness. So actually that makes a lot of sense to defend with the knight. So this knight, in a sense, provides opposition to this knight. Okay, so do I want to go pawn takes and allow knight here check, or rook takes, bishop? Bishop takes, pawn takes, and still allow knight. Okay, this is the question. Do I want to go rook takes? Rook takes, he's still got bishop takes, rook. So he's got two knights and a rook then. Two knights and a rook, but not really anything. I'm going to go pawn takes. Like, if he wants to sack on me, then sack on me. I kind of want to force him to sack on me if he wants to sack. Don't want to give away material unnecessarily. So these two are both defended for now. I kind of need bishops here and here, but I've only got one bishop in hand. And like I said, I'm still pushing. Okay, now I'm thinking of this move. Don't want to go on the diagonal because there could be all kinds of issues. So I'm going for this. Now, he could be thinking, if he's crazy, of this sort of idea, but he's not thinking of that kind of idea. So what is this threatening? He's already used all his knights. What's that threatening? It feels like he wants to go queen and knight there, and I just don't see what it's threatening. And I could just give it up, but I don't see why. He wants a rook for here, obviously. That would be nice for him, but it's not really threatening anything. Or is he? He's not threatening anything, but he has a lot of pieces around my kings. I have right to be nervous. Oh, I see what he's threatening. He's threatening bishop takes f6. Okay, and my time is right down. Okay, okay, fair enough. I'll do this. So if he takes my queen, I take his knight, I guess. Okay, now he thinks he has an attack, and he's right. Okay, unfortunately. And I don't really want to exchange huge amounts of stuff, but I do want to clear my back rank, so I feel like that is a sensible thing to do. Okay, so I'll just provide double coverage of the G7 square, which is my key weakness. And I think this is going to kill me now, because I've only got 25 seconds, so let's see, how am I going to... I always wanted to play this d5 move, that's not happening now. How am I going to... 19 seconds, okay, how am I going to make a breakthrough? I don't want to sack everything, it's just not sensible. On the other hand, I just need to... Okay, so at least I've got this as a target. So what's he threatening? Oh, he's threatening the rook. Knight takes rook. So if I bishop takes, oh, but bishop takes, that's too nasty. Bishop takes, pawn takes, a check is unthinkable. Oh dearie me. Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay, so he's taken a whole bunch of stuff. 2 knights, bishop and a rook. Okay, 2 knights, bishop and a rook. Has he got mate? He's still got this, unfortunately. So I have to cover. And he's also got pawn there. Oh, should have gone to cover with the rook. Hey, I moved. Okay. It's like I moved and 2 seconds later I flag. So, yeah, good games. I think I needed a rook on this file to defend, but still it's all over. Of course, if I go king takes, it's just going to be all over with diagonal pieces. Okay, so well played, variants only. Thanks, Chuck Moulton, for the subscription. So Leper01 says, can I join this league? How does it work? Yes, you can. And do I have the link? I had it a second ago. So SIDH. So let's see. I'll just paste that link in the chat. But you have to give us a few weeks because the new league will be starting again in 3 or 4 weeks' time. So you have to give us time to approve registrations and so on. Abos says, I wonder about knight at f6, and also saying talking through the thought process while doing said thought process takes longer. And Jack Moss saying time management is the main problem. Yeah, maybe part of the problem. So just to show the pairings, so these are the pairings. Mugwort against JK the Bullfrog on board 1, and it was the finisher against Rapid Variants on board 1 of our team, and these will now be inserted. Our games will now be inserted here. So that takes the score to 5-3. So we need Erin Yu to win 1 of his 2 games to win this week. Okay. Mixu Chess says go okay, because he is of course my board 1. So thanks for the support. So hope you enjoyed. Yeah, fun games. Why don't we actually have a quick look at those games in analysis before closing? And I'll see. So knight takes, just castled here. Oh, so you said this is just bad for black. Knight takes e6. Yeah. So it's not stockfish theory. I was just copying something that Jan Lee did. So he's quite good at finding quite nice ideas. I mean, yeah, okay. So knight takes e6 is good apparently. So maybe apparently knight takes knight, bishop takes, and then rook at h6 was good. But anyway, so it's just an idea. So you didn't like rook at e6. I don't like dropping the rook. Avoid opening up the bishop on b2. What's the rook doing? Well, yeah, the idea was to open up this rook. But yeah. Rook at g5, rook takes g7, take all on f6 is a threat. Black thought he finally got rid of the rook, and now it's back to him. Yeah. King f7 time. Yeah, well, I don't know. Time for knight at h8. Takes. Yeah, knight at h8. Yes, that would have been interesting. But okay, so it's now +9 at this stage. So yeah, very well played from VariantsOnly. What else could I have done here? Bishop at e5, blocking the diagonal. That's how important the diagonal was. Okay, so things clearly went wrong earlier, and that was the bad move. That was the move that really killed the position. But actually, rook d6. Okay, so d6 was better apparently. Yeah, probably makes more sense. Or rook b6. Just, yeah, Not to the square I put it on. Okay. Too bad. I don't know, it didn't seem so bad, but so apparently the best thing to do in this position is, this was fine up to now, even -6, and then dropping a rook at h6, using the fact there's no diagonal here, and so this gives really good coverage of here while also chasing this. Okay, I'd have been afraid of this if I'd done that. And then you simply just go rook g6. Okay, bishop goes back. What's the idea? Because we don't want to draw, so... Okay, knight f5. Interesting. And then we get a huge trade, but black is in quite good shape, and white just hasn't developed at all. So that would be the way to play it. I don't feel like I blundered terribly in that game. Okay, so rook at e6 stuff it's not a fan of. c5 it's not a fan of. And there must be some other move. Yeah, if I go learn from my mistakes. Oh, it doesn't like e5. Just cast. Oh no, so this is the point where this pawn is under threat though. Do I block the diagonal? Maybe? Okay, I'm not going to be able to do... It's going to take... So no. So view the solution. Just castles. And give up this pawn? I don't understand. Knight takes pawn. Knight takes knight. So Stockfish just wants to give up the central pawn, and I really don't understand that. Oh, I see. Rook e8, and we have play on the king. So we don't want the e pawn. Wow. Okay, that's an interesting discovery. Castles was played, and instead just takes. Yeah, that does make sense. Takes, and then okay. Rook at e6 was played. We saw it just wants to take and dump on h6. Yeah, and yeah, again, rook e6 was played. It wanted b6. Okay, so very interesting. Okay, and then we saw not c5, just moving the rook somewhere else. And white mistakes. I don't think white played many mistakes apart from the opening. So ignore the opening. Knight d4 was played. So a better move apparently was this. Bishop at h4 was played, which looked like a very good move. But apparently better is to take on this square. That's interesting, yeah. And knight takes c6 was played, whereas the best move was just simply to take the rook. But probably he thought it was preparation, and so he didn't. Knight d4 was played, and the best move is to take on that pawn. Wow. And the idea being you've then got a pawn to attack. Is that the idea? At h6. And then you've got this sort of double threat on the knight. So yeah, very interesting idea there. And e3 was played, and the best is just to take the rook. Okay, so I think that was maybe slightly psychological, not taking the rook. So finally, just looking back on game one, let's see the computer analysis. Hasn't been asked for yet. Yeah, so what am I supposed to do here? e5 is fine, knight e4 is fine. Bishop d3, as I played, is fine. Takes. I guess I'm supposed to defend that pawn. Bishop d2, say. And then the other line I was saying in the chat is this is definitely something which black could play, giving up a pawn with the idea of takes. That's all very decent. Oh, and queen e1 is not the best move. Okay, yeah, so queen e1, I was saying the best move for black potentially is at e4. I find this quite an annoying move because, yeah, you take this knight, but then you lose this knight, and your king is a little bit exposed. But okay, you have time to fix it. You've got a pawn in hand to fix it. And black doesn't have an immediate attack. So apparently in this position, actually queen e1 is not... Oh, maybe it is the best move. Let's look at the opening explorer. But maybe queen e1 or maybe even bishop to g5. So counterattack the opponent's queen. And if we look at the opening explorer, by far the most popular move is actually a counterattack on the black queen, with a much better, well, a slightly better performance, 58% against 50%. So yeah, this game got quite sharp, because instead it was knight takes c3 and yeah, knight takes c3. Okay, what actually happened in the game? Bishop d3, then knight takes c3, then knight here, and I just castled instead of defending. So Stockfish does not appreciate that. And I thought that was a free pawn, but apparently it's not. And I don't understand Stockfish's move. Oh, I see. c3 is defended by the queen, but I still don't really get it. Okay, but takes, takes, takes. Bishop at d5, and then apparently just go back, but it's just, yeah, it's quite hard because black is crashing through into your position. So I went for a counterattack instead. And apparently that's bad. Okay, of course I can't take the rook because otherwise pawn here and queen either here or here is checkmating. So I had to sidestep, and I was definitely expecting rook takes pawn. And I can't go back to g1 because otherwise queen here is checkmate. So my plan in fact was to take, and just to try and pray I could survive this, because I could take any pawn check here with the knight. But black actually has queen takes knight, and apparently I don't have any mates. So if knight to f6, it just simply takes the knight. And if I take back the queen, then those 4 pawns and 2 knights are going to mate me. But it's not easy. It's seeing a mate in 10. Okay, so that would have been interesting. So that's definitely what I was expecting. Rook takes h2, and I wasn't sure. I thought king takes and I might be able to survive. Instead, rook here, knight here, protecting, attacks, defends. Now, kind of do. Now here, he obviously shouldn't take with the bishop. King takes, and he's absolutely fine. I really didn't know what to do next. Maybe just push again, was what I was thinking. But this is tricky because yeah, if he goes pawn takes, then I do have mate. Knight at is checkmate. So maybe rook takes, and he still has this attack on g2. So that would have been the way to play it. Yeah, pawn takes doesn't work. But bishop takes gives me a lifeline, which unfortunately I wasn't able to exploit because it relieves the pressure on g2. But I've played rook takes g6. That feels like the right move. But apparently the right move is something I really can't fathom. It's bishop at e6. So I'm just like, okay, can we see why? Can't you just take the bishop? And I'm just confused. So I really don't understand. Why bishop at e6? What? Why not just take the rook? Okay, so this is some deep move. So yeah, the Lone Wolf says bishop g5 instead of queen e1. You must have seen that line before. The werewolf. I've seen it before, but I've never played it. So yeah. So the idea of bishop e6 is the bishop won't cover e8, and apparently that's useful. Okay, I mean, this is... So it doesn't... But then it thinks for a while and it goes -10, so I don't understand. So, okay, rook takes g6 seems reasonable, anyway. H takes g6, but now is the critical move. I needed bishop at h3, which is a really paradoxical move. I've just got this bishop out from h3, so it's no longer attacking g2, and it's saying, come back and take on h3. And of course the idea is then e8 is not defended. Oh my gosh. And I'd have a very pretty checkmate. So that is pretty sweet. It's so kind of counterintuitive that I just got rid of that bishop, but because now I've got rid of the rook in that move, now bishop here is good. Whoa, that's so pretty. I mean, but pretty hard. Yeah, and so then the best moves for black are really hard to see. Okay, so that's a really nice idea. So instead I go knight at f6, king takes d8, bishop pawn at g2, pawn here, and I just don't know how to defend. I mean, the problem is he's got plenty of diagonals, he's got plenty of pieces, and the game's up. So I needed a really aggressive move in this position to just hold on in there, which was bishop at h3. And even then, he can probably take that. And my best move then is queen at f6. And why can't he just go something like this? Because then I can take on f7, so you could defend with the rook maybe, if he's really worried. But yeah, and apparently this is equal. But so this is more like, this is tense, both sides. So again, the point is, why can't he just take this bishop? Because rook takes bishop, so e8's a little bit weakened. Oh, but he could just take the bishop, apparently. So, okay, this is really high-level stuff, and it's just very hard to see. Rook takes, king takes would be forced. Yeah. So, bishop at h3 doesn't... Yeah, rook at h8 doesn't work at all. Bishop takes d7 looks extremely risky, because now you're leaving this uncovered. So yeah, I've got no idea. Pawn at g2, and apparently the king just about survives, because these two squares are covered by the queen. And this square is not an issue. It's also covered. So some really sharp stuff in that first game. Yeah, I think that first game was quite interesting. And the Lone Wolf says Stockfish really isn't accurate in this analysis. So yeah, I can believe that. So at this point, and I obviously my own Stockfish is quite slow because I'm streaming. Bishop at e6. He has at h3 apparently. Maybe, but it's really hard to say. I don't understand. But so if he takes this, do I go rook takes rook? Do I? Yeah, rook takes rook. So now I have a mate threat. Anyway, it's too deep, and and it's not going to find it in the time I'm here. So yeah, it's a sharp position, and basically depths 10 to 13 is not enough. Like, apparently the best move for black here is queen at f6. Which is creative, I have to say, because you really want to stop a knight landing on f6. So the piece you want is not a pawn on f6, but a queen on f6. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to end the stream on. Stockfish comes up with very creative ideas, and I can't tell if it's good or not because we're going to have to wait until a much higher depth. But just as the depth's increasing, it looks like queen at f5 and queen at f6 are the two moves which actually are good for black in this position, and otherwise white is winning. But if we go deeper, then something completely different might happen. Okay, yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and congratulations again to VariantsOnly, rapidly improving Crazyhouse player, and hopefully soon to be Grandmaster in Standard Chess. Okay, if there was a mate somewhere, that would also be a fun... yeah, if there was a mate somewhere with something like bishop at e6, that would also be completely mind-blowing. But yeah, okay, so thanks everyone for watching, and goodbye.